What's going on, Jordan Fam? We're back up in here.
Gosh, you sound so old.
Anyways, today we're going to talk about a common question we get. A lot of people that are younger dealing with this and older, all ages alike. It's the big question: did we wait till marriage to have sex? So, if you're a youngin', if you're a little tadpole, a little guppy, maybe ask your parents if you could watch this video or not. We're not talking about like anything graphic or bad. This isn't like, anything crazy like that, but just our experiences. Yeah. All right, let's roll. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime fun. Doing that carefree attitude. Who cares what the people think? So we're gonna talk about did we wait for marriage, obviously, but we're gonna talk about did we wait like before we met each other. So it's gonna be her story and then my story, and then we'll meet up at the end.
So basically, from the time I was little, I knew that like I wanted to wait. I grew up in a Christian home, in a Christian family. I just I always heard and I always knew that like it's right to wait. And I, dated a couple of guys through high school and I struggled, but like I held on and I like didn't do it, and I waited for a long time. But eventually I guess I just I didn't believe that like God was really gonna bring somebody, like they always say like, wait, you're gonna find your perfect love story, blah, blah, blah. I was so sick of that. Like they always say that, and I was just like, this is not true. Like I have not met a single guy that's like, actually everything that I want, that I need, this, that. And so like I ended up dating somebody that I was really good friends with for a long, long time. And I just I trusted him. I thought like that was it. And I just sort of ended up compromising. Like I held off for a long time with him. And then eventually I just sort of, gave in. And, it really sucked. It really, really sucked. Like, waiting that long and then just being like, oh, like this is it, this is all that I waited for. And, I just really, I did it to myself. And like eventually that relationship ended, and I was like, once that ended, I was devastated, because I like gave everything up for that relationship because I thought that was it. And then after that, I was like, well, I already did that, so who cares? And so then I met somebody else, and I just didn't care. I got to the point where I just when you're doing those things, you sort of have to protect yourself because it's not natural. God made it for to be between in a marriage between a husband and a wife in a safe place. And when you're dating or this or that, it's not in a safe place. And so you start to harden yourself and you start to protect yourself, because otherwise you're gonna fall apart. And so I noticed it, just in our marriage, recently even, the way that I've changed my behavior and my personality. I'm not sweet, I'm not gentle, I'm not giving and loving, because of just those relationships that I had to protect myself in. And I've had to correct that, because it was a good thing at the time because I protected myself somewhat. But now, I'm married and I can't fully give myself to my husband because I'm still in that protective mode. I'm still holding things back. Even, we've been married almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just realizing this, I guess I never realized how much this stuff could affect you. It's not just the heartbreak in the moment, which really sucks too. But long term, it has effects on your personality. It has just all kinds of things, you know. I don't know what else I want to say. So basically, those two things happened literally 3 months before I met Tommy. And so I met Tommy in this place of just like broken. I was just broken. I was done. I couldn't even comprehend getting into a relationship when I met him. I did not want to like go through all of that again. So you want to start your story?
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to that.
Yeah, so my story is like different than hers in a way because like I grew up in a Christian household and stuff, and I always was like the kind of person who had to like experience things for myself. Because like, I'm like, why does God like want us to wait for marriage? I mean, if you look in like the world, Netflix, everything, everyone's having sex. I mean, they're having sex at like 13 years old. It's like no big deal. And you're like, well, if like sex looks pleasurable and like fun, like why would it be a bad thing? We probably like you're probably somebody's probably watching this thing, we're total weirdos, and that's fine. And that's why we're making this, because like we want to give you our experiences and like what it's actually like. But like, so I was opposite from her. I just like wanted to try everything out. I mean, I believed in God. I couldn't like deny that fact. But I just was like, yeah, like God, like I grew up and I felt like it was a little like legalistic, like don't do this, don't do that. Like typical Christian, like kind of household, like church, like it was just like follow the rules, like be good, like, get like straight A's, like Christian wise, So to me, I was like, if God's so like judgmental, if he's so like, you better do this or you're going to hell, I'm just like, dude, I don't want any part of that. Like screw that, basically, part of my French. So like in high school, I just sort of rebelled, like starting, like I was young. So like she waited till 20. So that was good on you, hon. But I was like, yeah, I don't even know. I was like sophomore in high school. So stupid, like that we mentioned this in like another take that like sin is fun. It's a lot of fun, but for a season, and then you have heartbreak and like, so I don't know, like maybe I was looking for love and just like was trying to find it in women instead of God. And for me, it was just like a string of girls just throughout high school. Like it was I felt like it was cool, it was like the thing to do. But it was funny because like, I don't know, it just like especially I think I was like most heartbroken when like it was like in a relationship. And like it was interesting because like if it was just a random girl, like obviously like stuff's happening to me like psychologically, I can't even explain. But like when it was like in a relationship, I was in like a couple relationships that were longer than like a week. And like it sounds bad, but I'll explain it. But I remember the last one before I met her, I was actually good for like a year before I met her. Like I was in a good place, right? In this last relationship, like, sort of like living together, that sort of thing. Just like doing everything wrong, like as like wrong as I could. And oh my gosh, when we broke up, I felt like my heart was like ripped from my chest. It was just like the weird, like just like distraught. And actually like the other girl as well. It just was like not natural. Cause like I totally now I like believe like when the Bible talks about like two becoming one, when you have sex in marriage, like two people become one. And like, when you like attach yourself to someone else, it's more than just the physical, it's like your spirits. And the Bible like talks about that. There's like scripture. What is it? There's like scripture like about like, when you like have sex with someone else, like you become entangled with them. So like it was just the worst. I remember like going to my grandma's house, Nana, like just like crying after this breakup, and it just like, and I didn't do too good after that. Like after the breakup, I still was like lost trying to find myself. But finally, like I just like, I don't know what happened. Like long story short, I was in Argentina. And like, this is crazy. I was on a missions trip and I was actually trying to like hook up with another girl. Like, you know this, right?
I didn't know you were trying to hook up
I was, yeah. And Argentina's wild. Like Buenos Aires, like wild in the sense that like, they're partying to like 5 a.m. Everyone starts at like 12 o'clock at night. It's like Miami or something. And we were staying.
On a mission trip? Go ahead.
I was on a missions trip, by the way, for a month. I was on a missions trip. And, but there was like, the Argentine girls and I'm this little American. So, I was still in a bad place. So, I'm such an idiot. Like, I'm the type that, like, I put a gun to my head and, like, I shoot it and I go to the hospital and then I'm like, oh, I want to try that again. I still didn't connect the dots with, like, not following God with my whole heart. So, like, that was the big thing that was between me and God my whole life. Like, and I always felt empty. I guess I know, like, I'm thinking about this now. I always felt empty and miserable. That was, like, one of the reasons. Like, it would be one girl, and then it would be, like, the next girl, and then the next, like, or whatever. And it's not even, like, having sex, but just, like, even kissing or whatever. Or just, like, one party. Because I did everything. I did drugs. I did, like, the whole works. I'll be honest with them. And, like, I just didn't find fulfillment in anything. Anything, like, the world told me that, like, try and you'll be happy, I didn't. So, like, in Argentina, it was, like, 4 or 5 in the morning. I was, like, we of course, were staying in, like, some super sketchy area. Oh, like, Boca. Something Boca. They have a famous football team. And, like, dude, it's known for, like literally, like, favela. Like, there's shootings on the street and stuff. And it's, like early, like 5, 6 in the morning, and a guy straight up comes at us, and it was on California Street. Hi, Mom and Dad, you don't even know about this in Argentina, but on California Street, and this guy said, like, dame tu mochila, or whatever. I literally had, like, 2 iPhones in my hand, because I was, like, getting her number and transferring it to my other number, and, like, no joke, he came, took my wallet, took my, like, phones and everything. And I found out, like, literally a week before, on that street, a police officer was shot for his gun. Like, they literally, a gang just robbed him just to take his gun, not even, like, money or anything. So I literally, I realized, like, wow, I could have died. Like, I really could have died, and, like, God saved my life. Like, I truly believe it. And, like, so it took me some time to, like, really, like, let that set in and stuff. And then I realized, like, I wanted to, like, follow God with my heart. Because I, like, finally, it was, like, almost, like, looking back at my life and all the, like, the partying and the girls and all this, I was miserable and unhappy, and I, like, couldn't fill that void in my heart. You know what I mean? It was like she said, like, when you're giving yourself to someone else and you think, oh, this is gonna, like, be good this time, right? Like, oh, that this is gonna, like, fix it. I, like, can't stress. Like, I remember, like, in, like, high school, like, wanting to commit suicide. I remember, like, taking a bunch of pills. Like, I was miserable. Like, I'm, like, very laughy and happy now and stuff, so it's, like, hard for you guys to know, but I did everything I basically could, and I realized, like, the world's wrong, and I got, like, my life right with God. And that's the thing, I just, like, asked God to come back in my life and, like, help me, and I've never been since then more fulfilled in my life. Like, and I knew it wasn't just, like, I had to, like, get in my own relationship with Jesus, not, like, what my family had or neighbors, or I wanted to, like, I had to experience it for myself. And, like, I know now from the life I used to live and live now, it's, like, night and day. I have my beautiful wife, I have 2 children. It's not perfect, but yeah. So I went on a lot there. So long story short, we met each other, and I, like, was, like, in a good place in my life, and you was in a very bad place.
Well, I was trying. The whole reason I went on the mission trip was because I knew I needed, like, I needed sort of to be, smacked in the face, basically. Like, I needed, like, a reset.
Yeah.
And so, like, I went, even though I really, like, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I knew it would be good for me just to, like, reset and, like, just spend time with God and spend time just, like, by myself. But then I met Tommy.
Yeah, of course.
I literally was like, God, get him out of my head.
I know.
Please.
And I didn't want to, like, date anyone. Like, I was good. I was like, I'm gonna be a monk. Like girls just end up, like, it ends bad for me. Like.
So, to answer
the question for the video, did we wait for marriage?
Tommy and I did wait for marriage.
We did.
Together.
Yeah.
We met, and I'll say why I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I think I met Tommy, and I knew that, like, he was different. I knew that he was good. I knew that, like, just right away, like, I knew he was the one, which is sort of crazy, but, like, maybe not the first day that I met him, but I knew there was, like, something about him.
Yeah.
And I would say within a few days, like, I knew, like, that he was it. And, I just, like, there's something different about, like, when you know that it's the right person, and, like, just like he always like put me above himself, and he always like he just wasn't selfish with me, I guess. And not always, like we did like make mistakes and stuff, but like I knew he was so good that I didn't want to screw it up. And so like we tried so hard to not do that. And so like after for a while we were like, we're just gonna be friends,
Yeah.
that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So once we decided that we were gonna start dating, like Tommy was like, I'm not gonna kiss you until you're my girlfriend.
Yes.
So then he asked me to be his girlfriend, he kissed me, and then the next day we were like, we shouldn't kiss.
Yeah, we just knew, and we didn't do anything bad.
No,
we didn't make, because you said mistakes earlier, so that was confusing. We didn't make any like sexual mistakes, and that like we knew just kissing would open that door.
Yeah, so we both knew like each other's past, and so we knew that like it'd be harder, like because once you cross that line, it's a lot harder to not.
Yeah.
And so after like one kiss, we're like, okay, we're not gonna kiss like. Well, Tommy said this. I didn't want to do it.
She wanted to kiss these lips.
He was like, we're not gonna kiss like until we get married, and I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Fighting like yeah.
So we did that not because we don't believe like.
Not that we believe like kissing's bad.
We don't believe kissing's bad. We just knew that for us. It would lead to more, especially because we were both older. And, well, I wasn't that old, but he was older.
But still, you don't have your parents around.
And, we could sort of do whatever we wanted if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And we knew that it would go down that road, or it could.
Yeah.
So we decided not to do that. And by mistakes, I meant, we did kiss a few times. We kissed when we got engaged and stuff. But that really helped a lot. And... You want to talk or you want...
Yeah, I mean, I knew, like, when I met her, like, she was the one, like, we didn't want to, like, date, but, like, we'd be on the phone, like, 12 hours at night from 4 in the morning, like, 4 in the afternoon to 4 in the morning. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, we just became, like, the best friends, like, ever. BFFs for life. And, like, I knew that, like, I wanted to respect her. I knew I didn't want to, like... take anything from her. I wanted to like get to know her. It sounds cheesy. If you're a guy, you're probably thinking this is really lame. But like, I'll tell you, like, I wanted to just really get to know her for her. And like, people will use sex and that kind of stuff to like cover up things in like dating.
Yeah.
Like if you get in a bad fight, just like do something sexual. Cause then it's just like,
pushes all the problems away.
Yes. And when we were dating and we couldn't kiss, we couldn't do any of those things, we had to really like learn who each other was. And we didn't have all of that like clouding our judgment. Because like hormones are like a super powerful thing.
That's true, yeah.
And hormones like make it so you don't see the other person's faults. And like we saw the faults.
Oh yeah.
Like we fought, like our relationship was tough.
But a lot of the stuff that we fought about
90% was our past.
Because we were like, why didn't you wait? Why didn't you wait?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and just like her knowing I was with other girls, me knowing she was with other guys.
I mean, we've been married 4 years and it still like doesn't feel good when he talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot better than it was, day one.
Yeah.
But it still sucks because I want him to be mine like always.
Yeah, like 1,000%. Yeah. Yeah, let me change it. Yeah, so it's crazy. When we were dating, like, we feel like the devil would just, like, use this stuff, like, in our head. Like, of just, like, her past things, my past things with her. It, like, almost, like, haunted us.
I mean, for instance...
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to say this.
Say it.
But, like, when we first got married, it was really, really hard. Because, first of all, we were living on Skid Row.
Yeah. That's in downtown Los Angeles.
Which is just like, it's just a whole area of like homeless population.
Yeah, drugs. It's crazy.
And, it sucked for me because I knew that like his last relationship which is a while before me, but still his last relationship, like they were staying there together, at the Mission. And like, that really sucked for me because I was like, first of all, like, I'm not, like, the first person there.
Yeah.
And then it's, like, we're, like, newly married. So,
yeah.
like, you want to be, like, basically the center of their world. And it's just, like, always in the back of my head. Like, like, oh, this other person was there. Like, this isn't, like, something new to you,
Yeah. And the mind just plays tricks. Like, even if, like, our sex in marriage has been the most amazing sex I've ever had in my life. Like, But I mean, I have to say that it's different. Like you can't even compare it. Like it's just like there's this security. It's like it's a
I'm not
real
talking about this.
what?
I'm not talking about
Well, I'll talk about it. It's like a real relationship. She's the best friend I've ever had in my life. The other ones were barely even friends. So it's just like I can't even describe it, and I'm not being graphic, but just like
Well, then I'll say I didn't even want to before I met Tommy. I didn't I just did it to keep people.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I mean, it's like a stereotype, but like I'm a girl. I didn't like need that, Like
yeah.
I was, like you get all like your hormones and stuff, but like I really didn't like need that.
Yeah.
I literally just did it because like I knew
It'll work. But it's funny because like your mind, my mind, her mind would play like tricks on us where like there's the devil like trying to like break our marriage apart or dating apart, of just like us thinking about like, oh, like if we got in a fight, I could think about her with another guy. What did they do? Like I'm thinking like it's like some hot steamy thing. Like you know what I mean? Like something like a Corona like beer commercial where they like meet and they're in the hotel room and he just like takes her on the bed and it's like yes, like that Charlie Puth song, Call You Senorita?
No. Not
Which
that
one?
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
one.
Oh, what's
South
it?
of the Border.
South of the Border. Yeah, you just think it's all sexy in Cancun, Mexico, and you're like, oh man, like I'll never compare to that. Just stupid things when reality it was like awful. You know what I mean? Like after you did it, you just felt worse about yourself, worse about them. Like did you like for example, like her, like feeling inadequate, and like in marriage you have that safety. Like you don't feel that. You know what I mean? Like we're thinking in marriage, like when you're having sex, you're thinking about the other person, not yourself, and then it's just like I don't know, I can't explain it.
But it's hard to it's hard to change your perspective because I just like heard a lot like outside of marriage, like sex is like a competition basically.
Yeah.
So like it's a competition to like be sexy, to be interesting, to like
that's good.
It's all just like seduction, it's a game.
Yeah.
But like inside of marriage it's not like that. It's very different. And so like we had to like shift our perspective on that because it's like, like I don't want to like be too graphic, but it's not all like outfits and like like stuff like that. Like it's different. It's like
we have to schedule it.
It's like a consummation. It's just like, like you're just coming together.
Yes.
And not that it's not like, like all like sexy and stuff, but it's different.
Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of people, like, if you build your relationship and like forget God in the equation, okay? Like, if you're just watching this, and it's totally cool if you're not a Christian, like we are, like, we want that. That's why we're making this video. We're not here to judge you. We, like, made mistakes in our past. Like, God doesn't... obviously, like we're just telling you because we want you to like tell you how we felt and what we wish we did differently, like how we wish we would have done this differently.
I was gonna say like we're telling you this because like this was a big struggle in our relationship because of the mistakes we made, and neither of us really realized like you think you're just doing it to yourself, you think you're just hurting yourself.
Yes.
And if you do get married one day, like you're hurting your spouse, you're hurting your kids, like you're hurting everybody in the equation because your marriage is affected by it, which like it really sucks, but that's just reality.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Well, that's why we wanted to do it right when we met each other, because we knew how the pain it brought us in our life and that it didn't fulfill us, and that we knew that we wanted this to be like better than it was,
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to be honest and say like if you did wait, like on your wedding night, it's not going to be like like the heavens open up and it's
totally
like,
no,
that's just not we do live
it's still awkward.
It's still going to be like weird. There's still like you have to learn each other, you have to like it's just not going to be like most likely. Maybe it is for you,
maybe
you're lucky,
but that's a good point.
It does like it's a marriage, everything takes work, it all like everything gets better with time.
Exactly.
Basically.
Totally. Like wherever you are in life, like if you've maybe done it before marriage, if you've done it together before marriage and now you're married, like God will meet you wherever you're at. Like, our life's not perfect now because we waited before marriage.
Yeah.
That doesn't make us special or any better than a couple who didn't. But there's things that if you avoid, it's just gonna avoid the hurt in your life.
Exactly.
And that's why God doesn't want you to do these things. It's not because they're fun. It's not because, like, wow, man, for 9 months of dating, we could have had steamy hot sex like every other night. Like, we really missed out. Like, when you were in college, there was lots of places we could have done it. We weren't even kissing. Like, what losers? But no, by doing that, we avoided a lot of hurt, and it solidified our friendship and our bond. So, like, when we did get married, we're like, we have this trust in each other.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know, basically, if you wait, you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know the hurt that you missed out on.
That's hard.
And, like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't think that you're weird or, like,
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It really is. Like,
Yeah.
we both wish, like, that
Oh,
we
totally.
could say that.
Totally.
Because that would be amazing. But, you know, now, like, we didn't wait, and now we can help other people. So, you know, like, God uses whatever mistakes you make for good. And, like, we just hope that anybody watching this, like, understands that. And, you know, like Tommy said, like, wherever you are, like, God can help you just to use it, like, you know, for his good. You know, if you wait, like, maybe you'll have the most amazing wedding night ever. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
And if you don't, you know, like, God's got that perfect person out there for you. Like, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that, like, God had somebody, like, so perfect for me. I don't want to get emotional. And, like, you know, if I just waited a few more months, like, I don't even know, like, how much better it could have been. Stop.
Oh, little baby.
But, you know, like, it worked out. Like, you know, we got through it, and, you know, we're at the place that we are now. But, you know, there's just a lot of, like, hurt that you can avoid. And we want, like, you guys to be able to do that.
Exactly. It's the weirdest thing in the world because it's, like, something that, like, looks so good and so enticing, and everyone's doing it. Everyone at school, everyone at work, in bars, like, the world. And it's like, you know, everyone's, like, out there getting hurt and stuff, but people don't exactly, like, open up about it or even recognize, like, what it is. So it's like, yeah, how can you not do it? But now, like, looking back at my life, like, all those girls I've hurt, their future relationships, like I would never want to hurt my wife and make her feel bad about, like, my past. Like, it wasn't worth it. Like, 1,000,000%. Like, I wouldn't change anything about my life, like, but that I would change in a second, which is, like, funny. I wouldn't change anything but that, just for her, you know, because it just, like, yeah, it was a waste of time, all of it. I could have been, like, learning how to play the cello. I don't know, like, I could have just been getting closer to God. So, yeah. So, this was, like, a tough video to make because we really wanted, like, it to be real and tell you, like, our experiences. And it's, like, hard, you know, to, like, pull all these thoughts, and we don't want to, like, hurt each other and stuff. And, like, it's complicated, but, like, we want to help people, like, through this. Like, we felt like God was telling us to make this video, like, you know, and if you like these videos, let us know in the comments, you know, like, if you want more, I don't know.
If it helps.
If it helped you, like, basically.
Or you can email us too if you don't want to write in the comments.
Yes, we have our email totally in the description. You can email us if it helped you. Well, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure to like this video, get it out to more people, subscribe for more weekly awkward fun, and see you in the next video. Jordan Pam? Jordan Pam, I can end it with a kiss. Bye, guys.